Hi everybody, here we are again. We are going to hopefully, as it says here, be understanding percent today. I encourage you to have fun drawing the little percent sign I do. I draw little smiley faces in my circles. Well, percent is another ratio. We're kind of on the ratio bandwagon this week, in this unit, and a percent is a ratio that compares any number to 100. A lot of us understand percentages who play sports, or if you've ever say taken a test, you want to get that 100%. Let's explore what that really means. I have attempted, don't laugh, to draw marbles. They're supposed to be in nice little neat tidy rows of 10 by 10. I did the best I could. So if I look at this, I'm going to look at my blue marbles and count them: 10, 20, 30, 40, 1, 2, 3. So I have 43 blue marbles. So we are going to express that as a percent. So that is 43 out of 100, or 43%. How do I write that as a decimal? Well, it's 43 hundredths, 43 out of 100, so it would be 0.43, which you would read as 43 hundredths. Okay, so it's really easy to go to that fraction after this, and you can say, oh, well, that's 43 over 100. So there are three different ways to write it when you start with the percent, how that works, okay? So the red marbles. I want you to take a look at what I did up here, pause the video, and see if you can figure out the percentage of red marbles. All right, so I am going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that would be 7%, 7 out of 100, or 7 hundredths. And if I'm looking at it, I'm not going to do 7 tenths. 7 hundredths should be in this place value right here. Some people are going to put 0.7. That is 7 tenths, or 70 cents. This is like 7 little pennies. So fraction, you would do 7 over 100. Easy peasy. Not too difficult. Okay, would you try to write each of these as a percent? Scooch it up so that you can see, and just write your answer below the one that you see. I'm going to keep going, and if I say 9 hundredths, if I were to write that in words, it would be 9 hundredths, but I'm going to write 9%. This would be 39 hundredths if I would say it out loud, but the percentage would be 39%. Okay, this would be 32.5 hundredths, and it would also be 32.5%. 32.5%. This is a little bit tricky. If you have a 3, how do you express that over 100? Well, remember that 3 can be written as 3 over 1, and in order to figure out its percent, you would have to multiply the top and the bottom by 100, and you would end up with 300%. Okay? This is the one that usually trips kids up, but when you write it like this and express it as over 100, not a problem. Okay, let's also try these. I wrote this one as a ratio with the word 2 in it to show you that ratios can be expressed as a percent as well. So if you'd like to pause the video and try, then unpause it. Okay, so first I am going to do 29%. This one, make sure that you see that it's in that hundredths place, so it's 3%. And this one, I know it's 32.5 100ths. I tried to trick you from up here. You just need to move it 2 to the right, or realize how many hundredths, and this is another half, so it's 32.5%. And this one, I gave you a little hint here. This one would be 500 hundredths, or 500%. Capiche? All right. So I wrote a couple of keys down here so that you can remember when you're on a quiz or a test how to do this. To write a percent as a decimal, you divide the value by 100. I always say it's a swoosh, 2 to the left. So if you have 64.5%, you're trying to write it as a decimal, you go swoosh 2 to the left, 0.645. To get it back, swoosh it 2 to the right, 64.5%. So to write a percent as a fraction, rewrite the percent using the denominator of 100. So 32% would be 32 over 100. And the important thing to note here is that 32 over 100 can be divided by 4 on the top and the bottom, which gives us the reduced number of 8/25. Please remember that when you're working with percentages and things, you need to make sure to reduce your fractions. It's not going to say that in the directions. It's going to expect you to do that. I feel like this lesson is going to be a very simple lesson because many of you already understand percent. Our next lesson is the Illuminati triangle of mathematics. Have fun today.